Picture our world today. Dizzying technological change, lightning-fast shifts in markets, politics that swing on a tweet, global instability, worldwide economic crises, pandemics, recessions, and yet, through it all, people keep behaving in eerily familiar ways. Fear, greed, envy, hope, overconfidence, impatience, these emotions keep surfacing generation after generation, even when the headlines, gadgets, and disruptions change. What if I told you that through all the chaos and noise, one of the most powerful survival and success tools you could possess is a simple understanding? Human nature seldom changes. That's the provocative and reassuring claim at the heart of Same as Ever. Housel argues that while the world around us evolves at breakneck speed, many of the laws that govern behavior, how we react to incentives, how we respond to luck, how we handle expectations, remain remarkably constant. In a moment of echo with ancient philosophy, consider the Stoic adage rooted in thinkers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius: know what you can control, accept what you cannot. When you base your decisions, financial, personal, professional, on the constant truths of how people behave and how life unfolds, rather than on predictions or illusions of control, you arm yourself with clarity, resilience, and strategic advantage. If you are navigating uncertain times in Nigeria, America, Africa, or anywhere, Same as Ever isn't just a book, it's an anchor. It reminds you that while you cannot control the winds of change, you can read the patterns of human behavior and use them as your compass. If you love powerful, insightful, and life-changing books, then you've found the right channel. Every week we break down the ideas that transforms mindset, elevate success, and shift lives. So don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because you will want to catch every book we review. Let's continue. The true constant, human nature over time, and what that means for you. At the core of the book lies a simple but powerful insight. Human behavior, with all its impulses, fear, envy, overconfidence, herd mentality, remains largely unchanged regardless of technology, culture, or era. Housel's central thesis is that recognizing and internalizing these constants is far more useful than trying to predict uncertain future events. This leads directly to our first embedded lesson. Focus less on forecasting the future and more on mastering your response to timeless human dynamics. Why? Because markets, societies, and technologies will shift, but human greed, fear, envy, impatience, these stay. Smart investors, entrepreneurs, and life planners don't waste energy trying to forecast the next bubble or crash. Instead, they prepare for volatility by understanding how people behave under stress, how incentives influence decisions, and how emotions drive outcomes. For example, in 2020 to 2022, global pandemics and economic disruptions unsettled many economies. But what drove panic selling, hoarding, irrational investments, and fear-driven decisions wasn't new at all. It was age-old human responses to uncertainty. Those who survived, and often thrived, were less those with perfect predictions and more those who kept calm, stuck to principles, saved, diversified, and avoided emotionally driven gambles. From this foundational truth emerges the next insight. When you ground your strategies in human behavior rather than events, you build resilience. Because human behavior is constant, you can design financial and life strategies that transcend particular crises. It doesn't matter if there's a war, a pandemic, inflation, or a social media craze. The underlying impulses, reactions, and mistakes are similar. And with awareness, you manage those patterns rather than being blindsided by them. This is not pessimistic fatalism, it is strategic realism, a powerful mindset rooted in humility and preparation. The unseen dangers, risk, randomness, and what no one anticipates. One of the most important and humbling lessons in Same as Ever concerns risk. Housel argues that the greatest perils rarely the ones we predict. Instead, they are the unknown unknowns, the events our models don't capture. He echoes the wisdom of financial thinkers who say, risk is what's left over after you think you've thought of everything. This reframing produces a second embedded lesson. Stop chasing perfect predictions, start building for uncertainty. Rather than obsessing over forecasts, is this stock going up or down? When will the next crash happen? Which trend will dominate next year? Focus on building buffers, flexibility, and long-term resilience. That means saving more than you spend, diversifying income sources or investments, avoiding over-leverage, and staying emotionally prepared for volatility. Real-world events reinforce this. The global shocks of the past few decades, financial crises, pandemics, political upheavals, often arose from unexpected triggers: a novel virus outbreak, a regulatory shock, a sudden conflict, not from the risks that dominated headlines. People who prospered were not those who called the event coming, but those who had prepared for uncertainty by having reserves, diversification, and emotional discipline. When you take this seriously, another principle emerges almost automatically. Wealth built on solid preparation is more sustainable than wealth built on speculative bets. If you assume future is uncertain, because it always is, you orient your plans towards what you can control: your saving rate, your spending habits, your behavior under stress, your relationships, your resilience. Over time, those foundations pay off far more reliably than speculative bets. Happiness, contentment, and the danger of ever-rising expectations. A recurring theme in Same as Ever is that happiness is seldom the product of increasing external gains, wealth, status, material possessions, but of managing internal expectations. This insight births a third embedded lesson. To live well, moderate your desires. Let your satisfaction come from stability and perspective, not from a constant chase.
In our contemporary world, saturated with social media, status signaling, consumer culture, it's easy to feel like success demands ever more: a bigger house, a sleeker car, more travel, more displays. But as Housel argues, human nature also drives envy and comparison. When what others had long ago becomes the new baseline, satisfaction becomes a mirage. Look around. In America, many high earners live paycheck to paycheck, not because of low income, but because their expectations rose faster than their income. In rapidly developing economies, be it Lagos, Nairobi, Mumbai, Sao Paulo, rising incomes often come with rising social pressure. Show up success, spend more, maintain appearances. The result? A cycle of stress, debt, and dissatisfaction, even as earnings increase. Housel's message is timeless and universally applicable. Freedom from envy and desire is a path to contentment and sustainable well-being. And from contentment emerges another vital insight. Real wealth isn't what you spend, it's what you don't. In other words, it's the savings you accumulate, the options you preserve, the flexibility you maintain. People often flaunt what they buy, but true security lies in what they keep. Living below your means, saving consistently, investing patiently, that is how wealth quietly compounds. Stories over data. Why narratives shape our decisions more than numbers. Another recurring thread in Housel's book is the overwhelming power of stories over data, over spreadsheets, over predictions. People rarely make decisions based purely on numbers. They make decisions based on what those numbers mean, the story they represent. This gives rise to the next lesson. Being able to tell or interpret the right story is often more valuable than the right numbers. What does this mean in real life? In business, the company that tells a compelling story about its mission, vision, and values attracts investors, employees, and customers, even if its metrics look shaky. In personal finance, consider how people respond to economic news. A scary headline invokes panic and poor decisions. A well-framed narrative inspires calm, rational thinking. Take boom cycles, be it crypto bubbles, real estate frenzies, or stock market surges. Often valuations become detached from fundamentals. What drives them is collective belief, a shared story. This time is different. Tech will change the world. Real estate always rises, etc. When the story changes, the market corrects, and many are left holding losses. Housel suggests that this cycle repeats generation after generation because human psychology is constant and stories remain powerful. Thus, to navigate well, you must respect the power of narratives and learn to see beyond them. Evaluate stories objectively, distinguish substance from hype, prepare for what no story anticipates, and this awareness leads to another critical insight. Markets and life rarely fail because of complexity. They fail because of overconfidence in simplistic stories. When people fall for persuasive narratives, they underestimate risk, overestimate control, and ignore randomness. Housel warns that many of the biggest failures emerge not from lack of data, but from misplaced faith in stories. Luck, randomness, and the illusion of control, accepting what you can't predict. A powerful, humbling theme in Same as Ever is that luck, randomness, and unpredictability play a far larger role in outcomes, in careers, investments, history, than we like to admit. Housel reminds us that things that have never happened before happen all the time. This leads to an essential lesson. Humble yourself before luck and design for randomness rather than deny it. In America, consider wealth-building stories. Some people hit it big early. Others struggled for decades. Many of those who succeeded attributed purely to hard work, but often opportunity came from timing, circumstance, connections, or unexpected breaks. Recognizing the role of luck does not diminish effort. It refines strategy. It encourages prudence, diversification, and emotional discipline rather than reckless bets. Globally, in emerging economies, countless entrepreneurs succeed despite systemic instability, but often because they navigate complexity with adaptability, resilience, and preparedness for randomness. A stable 9-to-5 job may seem safe, but disruptions like economic recessions, currency devaluations, or policy changes reveal how fragile safety often is. Those who survive are not those who predicted the disruption, but those who built flexibility and humility into their plans. Thus, Housel nudges us to shift focus from predicting fortune to preparing for variation. Build buffers, avoid over-leverage, keep savings, diversify income, accept uncertainty as the default state. From this acceptance emerges a paradoxical but powerful insight. The recognition of randomness leads to peace, and peace yields better decisions. Because if nothing is certain, you stop making decisions from fear or overconfidence. You make them from prudence, awareness, and strategic calm. Cycles, complacency, and the peril of success. Why stability seeds instability. Housel also explores an unsettling truth. Periods of prosperity often sow the seeds of future instability. He quotes the notion that stability is destabilizing. This leads to another important lesson. Success and calm are often precedents for risk. Guard your guardrails even when things go well. In economic history, bull markets lead to complacency. Recessions follow. In personal lives, times of plenty lead to overspending. In societies, peace can hide structural imbalances that later explode. The human tendency to bend toward comfort, entitlement, and short-term thinking threatens long-term stability. Take the U.S. housing bubble of the 2000s. Stability, rising home prices, and low interest rates lulled many into debt, speculation, and overconfidence until the collapse came.
devastating millions. Similarly, various emerging economies have experienced booms, currency surges, property inflation, business growth, only to be destabilized by underlying inflation, systemic vulnerabilities, or global shocks.
Thus, the lesson is, consistency, discipline, and emotional control outweigh raw intelligence or information. This principle builds logically toward the lesson of simplicity. Complex strategies, high-leverage gambles, or excessive sophistication often backfire. Simple principles, save, invest, diversify, act with patience, and avoid impulsive decisions, outperform intricate plans dependent on prediction. Cycles, noise, and the wisdom of perspective. Housel emphasizes that markets and societies are cyclical, but our perceptions make them seem novel each time. Panic, greed, fear, and euphoria repeat endlessly. By understanding these cycles, one gains perspective and reduces emotional reactivity. Lesson embedded: recognize the recurring patterns of human behavior. Perspective is your best defense against overreaction. Consider American stock market investors during the tech bubble of 2000 or the COVID-19 pandemic downturn. The underlying human reactions, fear, herd behavior, panic selling, were no different than previous crises. In Europe, property bubbles show similar cyclical psychology. African investors in mobile money or real estate sectors often encounter similar cycles. Understanding the human constants allows you to act rationally while others succumb to emotional extremes. This naturally leads to the next principle: embrace long-term thinking and ignore short-term noise. Housel repeatedly reminds readers that wealth, careers, and life outcomes are determined by long-term repeated decisions rather than one-off events. Those who act impulsively during market spikes or societal turbulence often sabotage themselves. In contrast, disciplined, patient, and humble actors consistently succeed. At this point, we've covered the foundational pillars of Housel's message. Human nature is constant, patience compounds results, humility is strategic, envy sabotages progress, behavior matters more than raw intelligence, and perspective allows rationality. These themes form the backbone for the next layers of lessons: luck, randomness, preparation, emotional control, storytelling, and actionable financial and personal strategies. Housel repeatedly emphasizes a humbling truth: the outcomes in life and markets are heavily influenced by luck and randomness more than most people are willing to admit. While skill, effort, and intelligence matter, chance events often tip the scales in ways that feel unfair or inexplicable. This yields the next embedded lesson: accept the role of luck and randomness and design systems that survive uncertainty. Consider American venture capital. Some investors back companies that fail spectacularly, while a few investments, often unpredictable, generate enormous returns. Success is rarely linear or purely meritocratic. Similarly, in Africa, startup founders may persevere for years before a regulatory change, partnership, or sudden market adoption propels their venture into exponential growth. In Europe, small business owners navigating policy shifts experience unpredictable windfalls or setbacks. Understanding randomness allows strategic humility and better decision-making. Housel's philosophical anchor here resonates with Seneca: luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. By preparing for multiple outcomes, you convert randomness into opportunity. Diversification, savings, skill building, and patience are tools that stabilize outcomes against life's inherent uncertainty. Behavioral mastery, emotional intelligence as a wealth multiplier. One of the most crucial and timeless lessons in Same as Ever is that how you manage emotions determines your long-term success
far more than intelligence or education. Housel embeds this in several contexts: markets, personal finance, career decisions, and societal pressures. Emotional discipline prevents impulsive mistakes, allows better risk assessment, and supports patience. For example, in America, investors who sell during a panic crash often lock in losses, while disciplined holders recover and thrive. In African economies, small business owners who resist the urge to overinvest or overspend during booms survive downturns and scale sustainably. In Europe, professionals who control impulses in salary negotiations, career transitions, and investments consistently outperform reactive peers. The embedded lesson is clear: master your emotions and you master the variables that truly drive outcomes. This mastery naturally leads to the principle of delayed gratification. Human nature craves instant rewards, yet long-term success demands patience and restraint. Housel cites research showing that individuals who can defer gratification, save more, invest early, delay consumption, achieve compounding results that far surpass those who indulge immediately. This principle is universal. Whether saving for retirement in the US, reinvesting profits in Lagos, or building skill capital in Berlin, delayed gratification multiplies returns over time. The power of storytelling. Perception shapes reality. Housel argues that humans live through stories, not raw data. How you interpret events often dictates your decisions more than the objective truth. This insight produces another lesson: craft and understand narratives that align with reality, not illusions. In finance, bubbles are fueled by collective stories. Tech will revolutionize everything. Real estate never loses value. The crypto is the future. Individuals caught in these narratives often take excessive risks, ignoring fundamentals. Conversely, those who recognize the difference between story and substance, who maintain skepticism, discipline, and rational evaluation, protect themselves from catastrophic errors. Globally, in the US, the tech bubble of 2000 and the 2008 housing crisis illustrates storytelling gone awry. In Africa, fintech or real estate booms often attract hype-driven speculation that collapses when reality catches up. In Europe, investment funds can soar or crash based on sentiment, not fundamentals. The embedded lesson flows naturally. Perception drives behavior. Understanding perception allows strategic foresight.
Cycles and recurrence. Understanding patterns. A recurring principle in Same as Ever is that history doesn't repeat exactly, but patterns of human behavior recur consistently. Fear, greed, optimism, and pessimism cycle endlessly across markets, societies, and careers. From this, Housel embeds the lesson: learn from history, not as a predictor of events, but as a guide to human behavior. Consider these global examples. American investors panic during every market downturn, often repeating past mistakes despite historical evidence of recovery. African entrepreneurs navigate boom-bust cycles in commodities, startups, and currency fluctuations, learning to hedge and prepare. European economies experience recurring financial and political cycles, where human behavior, optimism, overconfidence, and risk-taking drives consequences. The insight is clear. The constant isn't the event itself, but the human behavior around it. Recognizing this allows better planning, emotional control, and risk management. Preparation over prediction. Systems versus forecasts. Housel underscores that successful individuals focus less on predicting the future and more on building systems that survive any future. Embedded lesson: invest in structures, habits, and principles rather than chasing short-term forecasts. Examples: in America,
Index fund investors consistently outperform those trying to time markets because they rely on long-term, systematized principles. African startups design scalable, adaptable systems that survive regulatory, market, and infrastructural shocks. European professionals develop skills and saving strategies that weather economic turbulence. The insight: control what you can, behavior, habits, allocations, and let randomness and luck play out without derailing your life. Systems, not predictions, are what compound over decades. The balance between ambition and contentment. Housel revisits a subtle tension, the interplay between striving for more and appreciating what you have. Human nature constantly pushes for higher status, wealth, and recognition. Without mindful reflection, ambition becomes insatiable and contentment impossible. Lesson embedded: balance ambition with gratitude. Measure success against internal benchmarks, not external comparison. Globally, American tech entrepreneurs balance scaling companies with personal well-being to avoid burnout. African business founders integrate community impact with profit, finding meaning beyond mere financial success. European professionals cultivate work-life balance while pursuing career growth. The lesson flows naturally into strategic patience, knowing that long-term compounding in finances, skills, and relationships requires restraint, humility, and consistency. The role of luck and persistence together. Housel emphasizes that while luck can open doors, persistence is what allows individuals to walk through them. He embeds a subtle but powerful lesson: work consistently, remain adaptable, and leverage luck when it appears. Consider real-world examples. Jeff Bezos benefited from early internet timing, luck, but persisted for decades to build Amazon. African entrepreneurs seize regulatory or market openings, but sustain growth through relentless iteration and reinvestment. European innovators leverage policy shifts or funding opportunities, but survive by consistent product development. The embedded principle: luck favors the prepared mind, echoing Seneca and the Stoics. Housel's central insight that human nature is largely constant naturally leads to practical applications. The lesson is not merely theoretical, it is actionable. Prepare for volatility, invest in consistency, and align decisions with enduring human tendencies rather than ephemeral trends. Embedded lesson: design your life and wealth strategies around principles, not predictions. 1. Build resilience through savings and diversification. One of the clearest actionable lessons is that resilience protects opportunity. Housel emphasizes that wealth is often preserved not by foresight, but by prudence, having reserves, spreading risk, and avoiding overconfidence. An American example: during the 2008 financial crisis, households and firms with strong cash reserves survived, while over-leveraged entities failed. An African perspective: entrepreneurs in Lagos and Nairobi who reinvest profits, maintain liquidity, and diversify revenue streams endure policy shifts, currency volatility, and market uncertainty. European context: investors in Germany or Switzerland use balanced portfolios and conservative exposure to protect capital against cyclical downturns. The embedded principle: preparation in calm periods allows you to capitalize during crises. 2. Focus on long-term compounded actions. Housel's writing reinforces a recurring idea: time and consistency are more powerful than intelligence or luck alone. The book repeatedly cites examples of long-term compounding in wealth, knowledge, and behavior. An American example: Warren Buffett's decades-long investment strategy demonstrates that patience, not timing, creates extraordinary results. An African example:
Founders of companies like Jumia or Flutterwave persevered for years before achieving market dominance. A European example: entrepreneurs in Scandinavia consistently reinvest profits in sustainable growth rather than chasing short-term market trends. The lesson flows. Small, repeated, principled actions magnify over decades, producing far greater outcomes than sporadic brilliance. 3. Manage behavior, not markets. Housel stresses that behavioral mastery outweighs technical mastery. Controlling impulses, fear, and greed is more important than predicting markets or trends. In America, investors who panic sell lose more than those with modest knowledge but disciplined strategies. African business owners who avoid impulsive expansion survive and scale sustainably. European professionals navigate career shifts, prioritize patience and strategic skill development over rash decisions. Philosophically, this resonates with Epictetus. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them. Housel modernizes this for finance and life. Control the reaction, not the environment.
4. Avoid the comparison trap. A constant hazard highlighted by Housel is envy in social comparison. Humans instinctively benchmark against peers, often leading to financial and emotional stress. American households overspend to keep up with neighbors or influences. African middle-class families inflate lifestyle costs based on perception of peers. European professionals occasionally compromise long-term security for short-term status signaling. Embedded lesson: measure progress against your values and goals, not others' achievements. True wealth is internal and strategic, not performative. 5. Embrace luck, but work consistently. Housel teaches that luck cannot be predicted, but it can be leveraged when combined with persistence. American entrepreneurs capitalize on unexpected market shifts through sustained preparation. African tech innovators seize regulatory openings, applying years of prior effort to scale rapidly. European scientists and engineers leverage grants or policy changes, building incremental progress that compounds into breakthroughs. The embedded principle: luck favors the prepared and the persistent. 6. Build systems, not predictions. In line with his central thesis, Housel encourages systems thinking over forecasting. Prepare frameworks that endure uncertainty instead of attempting precise predictions. Invest in diversified, resilient financial systems rather than chasing short-term gains. Build businesses that adapt to changing markets instead of attempting to outguess competitors. Develop skills that remain relevant under various economic conditions rather than temporary fads. This strategy is aligned with the Stoic principle: focus on what you can control and accept what you cannot. By now, it's clear, Same as Ever is not a book about predicting markets, timing careers, or chasing the next viral trend. It is a book about understanding constants in human behavior and using that understanding to build a life of security, purpose, and sustainable success. Housel repeatedly emphasizes a deceptively simple principle: the world changes rapidly, but people do not. Fear, greed, impatience, envy, overconfidence, these drivers are eternal. Recognizing this allows us to act strategically in a world that often feels chaotic. Embedded in this realization is the ultimate lesson: master yourself, and you master the variables that truly shape your outcomes. Let's synthesize the major lessons into a coherent framework, emphasizing how each naturally leads to the next. 1. Human nature is constant. Recognizing tendencies, your own and others, allows calm navigation of markets, careers, and relationships. This awareness leads directly to 2. Resilience matters more than prediction.
Since you cannot control randomness, focus on savings, diversification, and buffers. This foundation enables 3. Patience and compounding. Resilience over time is magnified through consistency, whether investing, skill building, or nurturing relationships. Consistency produces 4. Behavior over intelligence. Emotional control and discipline amplify results more reliably than raw knowledge. Emotional mastery facilitates 5. Delayed gratification and moderation. Balancing ambition with contentment prevents destructive overextension and sustains long-term growth. From moderation arises 6. Perspective through history and patterns. Recognizing recurring cycles prevents overreaction to short-term volatility. Perspective informs 7. Systems over forecasts. Well-designed structures endure uncertainty, turning randomness into manageable risk. Systems support 8. Luck and randomness. Accepting these forces with humility allows you to capitalize when opportunities arise, while avoiding overconfidence in illusions of control. Ultimately, all of this leads to 9. Freedom through awareness and deliberate action. By mastering your reactions, managing expectations, and acting consistently, you gain agency in a world of uncertainty. Philosophically, these chains resonate across centuries. Stoics like Epictetus advocated focus on controllables and acceptance of external randomness. Seneca emphasized patience, preparation, and perspective. Aristotle emphasized moderation and balance. Housel modernizes these ideas for a 21st century global audience, proving their timelessness. To see these lessons in action, consider the following examples. Warren Buffett's decades of disciplined investing exemplify patience, behavior mastery, and systems over prediction. During crises, he relied on resilience and perspective rather than panic. Scandinavian startups prioritize sustainable growth, long-term planning, and moderate ambition, ensuring survival through cycles of economic and policy changes. Across continents, the constants of human behavior manifest, but disciplined application of these principles differentiate those who succeed from those who flounder. Applying this to yourself. 1. Invest in yourself consistently. Skills, knowledge, and emotional control compound over time. 2. Save and diversify. Wealth is a product of preservation and strategic allocation as much as opportunity. 3. Build emotional discipline. Avoid impulsive reactions to fear, greed, or social comparison. 4. Be patient. Time amplifies consistent, principled action. Impatience undermines results. 5. Moderate ambition with contentment. Measure progress internally, not against societal benchmarks. 6. Leverage systems, not predictions. Prepare structures that endure uncertainty rather than chasing trends. 7. Accept luck and randomness. Remain humble, adaptable, and ready to seize opportunities without overestimating control. Philosophically, these are reminders that life is less about controlling outcomes and more about controlling the variables that matter: behavior, discipline, patience, and perspective. As Housel puts it, the world is more random than you think. Control what you can and prepare for what you cannot.
Imagine the world as a vast ocean. Storms will come, tides will rise, and currents will shift unpredictably. Those who attempt to predict every wave will capsize. But those who understand the nature of the ocean, the constants of waves and winds, and who build ships resilient enough to navigate them, will travel far and thrive. Morgan Housel's Same as Ever provides the map and compass. The book teaches that wealth, happiness, and resilience are not found in chasing illusions, forecasting the future, or overreacting to noise. They are cultivated through awareness, preparation, patience, and principled action. Whether you are an entrepreneur in Lagos, a professional in New York, a startup founder in Berlin, or an investor in Sao Paulo, the lessons remain universal. Human nature is constant. Time compounds wisely applied behavior, and resilience triumphs over volatility. The world may change, but people remain the same. By mastering yourself, understanding patterns, and applying timeless principles, you create a life that thrives in any environment. If this message resonated with you, subscribe and join us for more wisdom that fuels growth.